Imagine sitting on your couch in your living room watching your late local news. The news anchor comes on calling out the lotto numbers, whatever they may be. Wow, you won. Those are the numbers you played. You're now a millionaire. $240 million. Outstanding. You are fortunate to live in a state that has a legalized local lottery. And that's what I would like to talk to you about today. Legalized gambling. I'd like to talk to you about the benefits of legalized gambling, such as employment, education, tax revenue, both state and federal, and then the regulation of legalized gambling. Then I'm also going to talk to you today about some disadvantages of legalized gambling, such things as addiction, crime, and the money Americans spend on legalized or gambling annually. So first, let's take a look at some of the benefits of legalized gambling. Like I said, employment. The gambling industry employs hundreds of thousands of individuals in the United States. Take, for instance, the casino industry. It employs approximately 364,000 individuals. Now you think, if each state and their lottery commission or their gambling commission employs a couple thousand people, now you're looking at another 100,000 individuals that can be employed by gambling. In today's day and age, that's a lot of people, especially with the economy the way it is. Next, let's take a look at education. If your state has a lottery, chances are a good portion of the proceeds or the profits go to education for local school systems. With this, we can educate our children about gambling responsibly and reasons why gambling can be legalized. And also, we have to take a look at the taxes, the tax revenue that legalized gambling produces for both state and federal governments. Take, for instance, in Las Vegas, your winnings would be taxed 6.5%. Not really that bad considering most states' sales tax, heck, I know here, 8%. Then you take into account if your winnings came from a video poker machine or one of those video gambling machines. The casino that machine was in has to pay the state or the government 50% of the profits on that machine. That's a lot of revenue for both state and federal governments. We can't afford to lose that today. Another benefit is that if gambling is legalized, it can be regulated. Each state can regulate, the federal government and the gaming commission can regulate. That way we can alleviate these people who go out and illegally gamble, or these people who profit, and the federal government never sees a penny of tax dollars. Now we've taken a look at some of the advantages or benefits of legalized gambling. Let's go ahead and look at the disadvantages or the downsides to legalized gambling. First is addiction. Any opponent of legalized gambling will tell you addiction is probably key. Addiction. Today's day and age, people are addicted to drugs, alcohol, tobacco. Heck, some people are even addicted to chocolate. So, of course, we'll have people addicted to gambling. The number is relatively small, according to the research I did. Approximately 1 to 2% become addicted to gambling. So, like I said, the number is relatively small as opposed to the benefits. The benefits are rather large, like I said earlier. Another disadvantage to gambling is crime. It's a fact, on the research I did, that crime along, say, Atlantic City, Las Vegas, the strips where there's lots of casinos, the crime rate has increased. Normally this tends to be for about a 3-year period. And after that 3-year period, the crimes tend to level out or even decrease to the to the times prior to the casinos being built. So crime, yes, but not as major as one would think, like organized crime back in the day. Now that was real crime. Now another disadvantage is the money that Americans spend on gambling. Americans tend to spend $700 million annually on legalized gambling, such things as lotteries, poker tournaments, slot machines, and other casino games. In turn, the American people spend another $100 million on illegal gambling each year. That's $100 million that the government loses out on, your school systems lose out on. As you can see, or as you've heard, there are many advantages and disadvantages to legalized gambling. Like I said, some of the benefits: employment. I talked about education. I talked about tax revenue, both state and federal. I talked about being able to regulate if gambling is legalized. And I talked about addiction as far as a disadvantage, crime, and the money each American spends on gambling. We all know there's good and bad in this world. Drugs, alcohol, tobacco, all can be addicting. Gambling's no different. However, with a proper education, we can alleviate that. We can teach our children or our students not to gamble irresponsibly. So I urge each and every one of you, if your state is one of the ones that doesn't have a legalized lottery or legalized gambling, to let your legislator know the benefits of legalized gambling. Thank you.